All right, so we are page AyinBase 15 on the lower paragraph, second paragraph. We have 5 lines from the top, in the beginning of that paragraph. The line begins hatzimtzum, the second hatzimtzum. Call in. You're right. So again, page AyinBase 15, 6 lines from the top. The line begins with the word hatzimtzum. The second, the lower, had a lot of hatzimtzum. So we started in this section here, pointing out that in Oir social lifnei hatzimtzum there are also madregas. And in general, the madregas are identified in these 2 categories: etzem hoyer and hispashtus hoyer. And we discussed already the principle of hispashtus. Hispashtus essentially means what is the function and what is the ultimate purpose of this whole hoyer. Because atzilus, and this is what's called atzilus de klolus. Atzilus de klolus, that which is the the context for the entire creation. Because the union of atzilus we discussed the other day. In general, taking the analogy of the human being, in principle, then the entire process of creation, that which is created on the lower level is not totally dissociated from its source. It carries along the inception of this lower level as it was in the source. And this is what gives the lower level a sense of significance, of real presence. This is, as we said, this is the human being. This is in contrast to everything else in the world. The human being has this entire structure. And so this is what's called hispashtus hoyer. It is the same oir, but it is in the hispashtus level. This is the gilui. And that hispashtus draws and relates to the etzem oir. The etzem oir gives it a sense of reality. Okay, now we continue on. Towards the end of that line, Hine, Klolus ha'oir. The oil overall, at any madrege, hu b'vchinas b'tzalmeinu. It has this quality, but it's called tzalmeinu. And what does tzalmeinu mean? B'chinas tzura atzmis. Every aspect of oil, at whatever level it's found, has the element of tzalmeinu, which is in from tzura atzmis. Again, translate the word tzura atzmis. It strikes you. Tzura atzmis means the tzura that goes along with the atzim. It's not a created tzura. It's not a tzura to represent something. It is there because the atzim is there. The tzura is the tzura of this atzim.
How could something be a etzem be a tzura?
Well, this is what we explained right in the beginning, that this whole union of oir is a creation. But Hashem chose to create it, and He chose to create it in an oir manner. And that's why it has this quality. we ought to actually pay attention to what we are saying. We're saying it's a creation of oir. What's the point of saying it's oir? It's a creation. The reference of oir is for our benefit, that we should understand. We should have a sense of what is being explained. And the reason for that is because oil is something which we experience. We have oil in our world. And the unique quality of oil within our world is that it is inseparable from the essence. Not only is it not separable, but it's like an automatic emanation. And the reason it is an automatic emanation is that it also reflects the etzem. This is the experience of oil as we have it. This is what we point out all the time. The phenomenal thing of sight, which is through oil, is effortless. There's no other faculty that works effortlessly than sight.
Did you say the reason it's an automatic emanation is because it doesn't reflect the etzem?
What?
Did you say the reason why it's an automatic emanation is because it doesn't reflect the etzem?
Because it reflects the etzem.
It reflects.
It is there because the etzem is there. We explained many times in the past the phenomenon of oir is a reflection of the principle of an etzem. Should we go back on this? You don't have to.
I just want to. You mentioned that it's not representing the etzem. This kind of throws me off. The way that you mean represent means something.
No, I said it is representing. Except that L'mayla, this was a creation. It is representing the principle of etzem. Oir.
It's the presence of the etzem, not a representation.
Huh?
The presence of the etzem, not a representation of the etzem. Or maybe I heard wrong.
He said positive. I thought I heard negative.
Okay.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Okay.
I said on the contrary. Oyer is goes.
No, before that. Okay. Okay, fine.
We had many ways of referring to, of demonstrating the union. The simplest one is the principle that we, as human beings, have the mandate that we can own property. And this ownership of property is so wondrous that as soon as you step into your home, your presence is everywhere. How is your presence everywhere? We said that if you have a home 3 stories high, and you have an attic, and somebody moves into your attic, and he says, I'm not disturbing you whatsoever. How do you know I'm here? What bothers you? You're concerned about your attic or concerned about yourself? No, I'm concerned about myself. You're stepping on me when you're walking out of my attic. How am I stepping on you? This is the principle of oyer, of an etzem, because a human being has an atzmistic presence in his home. This is an atzmistic presence, it's not just a functional presence. Therefore, if you're stepping in my property without my permission, you're stepping on me. This is oyer. This is why it's called Surah Atzmis. Surah Atzmis.
I still don't understand how
One
we say
minute.
that.
One minute. Let me finish this. I started already. It's a Surah Atzmis. This principle that you are present, everyone in your home, this is the Surah Atzmi. This represents the Atzmius of what you are. This is the Atzmius of the person. This is the Tzura of the Atzmius. How do you explain, how do you identify this principle? This is the etzem of the person. In the fact that when he does have a bias, he automatically occupies the entire house. Not functionally. Yes. Okay. Yes, Shlomo.
And yeah, I can't get one into this. I said that this is the surah of the Etzem. The Etzem doesn't have a surah. You said.
There are two. Etzem doesn't have tzura. You're correct. There are 2 levels of etzem. The etzem that we have, that we're saying a human being is an atzmi, that etzem is a created etzem. And I want to finish it once we start it. It's a created etzem. What's meant a created etzem? The world belongs to Hashem. Hashem created the world. Everything in the world are only visitors. They're there by Hashem's grace. They don't have a personal stake. They don't have a real atzmi presence in the world. They have functional presence in the world. Hashem created animals, so okay, you can roam around the fields. You don't own the world. There's not a piece of land that you own. but I allow you to roam there. Everything is by Hashem's mandate. Among all the creatures that Hashem made in the world, He made a human being. And the human being also is present by Hashem's grace. But to the human being, Hashem gave the quality, what's called an etzem quality. He sort of bequeathed to him a piece of the world, or the whole world. By Hashem's choice, by Hashem's grace, He made the human being an atzmi in the world. That atzmi has a tzura atzmis. He has a definition. What the Rebbe should create in a human being, and why did He give him? They did give him that kind of a presence. He has a function. In his initial creation was he has a function in the world. So he has a tzura atzmis, an atzmi that has a tzura, because it's a created atzmi. Atzmis, atzmis, Taki doesn't have any tzura. Doesn't have any tzura, doesn't have any oir, as we learned. But that there is oir is a creation. But if it's a creation, then it shouldn't be oir, it should be a koyach. The Rebbe said chose to create that koyach in the form of oir. Like the Rebbe says, Mi Emanation. He chose that to create the koyach in the form of oil, that the oil should actually be reflective of him. And that's where he becomes a tzura atzmis. Shlomo, that's the answer to your question.
Yes.
So the klolus ha'oir is b'chinas salmenu, b'chinas surah atzmis. Okay, so we have the place. V'hagam. Okay, let's see if we can make one step further. V'hagam, although the b'chin is hispashtus ha'oir. Now this aspect is called hispashtus ha'oir. Hispashtus ha'oir means essentially how the oir spreads forth, means it spreads forth, how it affects things that it touches. It's made his pashtus. Harei zeh bechinas ha'ora de ha'ora. That his pashtus oir is an aspect that's called ha'ora de ha'ora. וכמו שכוסו בליקוטי תורה, דיאמאס כלהובי מה שכוסו ביתס חיים. Okay, I really have a tremendous wish that we should understand these terms, and I'll try my best. What is ha'ora and what is ha'ora de ha'ora? We always translate the word ha'ora, the functional element of the oil is called ha'ora. There is oil, let's say oil Hashemesh, oil. We always speak of the oil Hashemesh as giving a day. Day is not oil. Day is an etzem oil. Oil is an active thing. Oil is in contrast to darkness. Day is not in contrast to darkness. There is not an element of darkness remaining in oil. Because day is reflective not of the oil of the sun, but of the sun itself. That's what day is. No matter how bright you break it, how many candles you light, and so to speak, you can never duplicate a day. Along with that, day provides also the ability for us to see objects in the world. This in that you could see objects in the world as a result of day, this is the ha'ora of day, this is not day. You cannot define day by saying, by day you could see across the street. A light you can define that way. It's a complete misnomer when you say day makes it possible for you to see. This is called the ha'ora. In other words, the whole principle that it illuminates darkness, it illuminates and gives us ability to see, is only a ha'ora, it's a reflection of day. In truth, this reflection is a poor reflection, because the ability of sight in day is not that you're able to see, but you're not able not to see. The ability to see, this is a ha'ora de ha'ora. In other words, it's a ha'ora of something that is definable in terms of sight.
That's the part of the light that enables you to see.
Enables you to see.
And the ha'ora itself is what?
Ha'ora itself is, like I said, it eliminates the possibility of not seeing, but it relates to sight in a negative way. It's a ha'ora of the union of day. I hope we get the point. Because day is not what enables you to see. It eliminates not seeing. It eliminates darkness altogether. Like in the sight, there is no such thing as darkness. From this element that it eliminates darkness comes the sense. Therefore, sight is enabled. But not enabled in a positive way. Like I have to do something to make this. Automatically you see. It's not possible you should not see. A ha'ora of that is a light that makes.
Not daylight.
The ha'ora of that ha'ora. That's not ha'ora de ha'ora. I really like Mr. suggested very well. I'm going to step back a little bit. If you remember when we spoke about originally, the Rebbe says there is no oir in atzmos. No oir in atzmos. In the sun there is oir. In the human being there is oir. In atzmos there is no oir. What does that mean? Should be explained. That oir means that you're explaining something about this thing. It has a certain functional definition. And that's the oir of this thing. In Atzmos there is nothing to reveal. There's nothing to say what Atzmos is. In the sun there is something to say, even though it's etzem. But it's an etzem of behirius. In the Neshama there is something to say, it's a chayis, etzem, but it's a chayis, it's an etzem of chayis. In its atzmos, there is nothing to say it's an atzmi of what. There's no what. This is why there is no oir. In other words, what we are realizing, understanding in this presentation is that oir is representing some definable element. Ha'ora is representing also the final element in the oir. The difference is that the oir is representing the final element in itself. Ha'ora is representing the final element on the functional level. Ha'ora is representing the functional aspect of that function. Yeah, am I talking double talk? No. A functional aspect, that function means, like we said before, please understand the difference. By day you could see, not because you could see, because it's made you see, because it's not possible not to see. There's no camouflage whatever. Phenomenon of darkness has been removed, doesn't exist. When you have a focus light, a light whose object it is to make you see, this is the ha'ora. This is the secondary level of illumination. If we did not have the primary level of illumination, we could not possibly imagine a secondary level of illumination.
What's the difference? I mean, okay, I don't know if I should.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll have more questions, but you have enough to reflect on this. Just
daytime is higher than the illumination.
I'm sorry?
Are we saying daytime itself is higher than the illumination of darkness?
Yeah, sure. Daytime is based on the sun itself. That's,
Day is a total reality. It's not just about seeing or not seeing.
Right.
That's like etzem ha'or. Then there's
but it also enables you to see, but not enables you to see as a function, as its presence.
That's the ha'or.
The sight element is a ha'or on the day.
So in other words, the fact that it enables you to see, just that's you're also calling it etzem ha'or?
No. That's a ha'or on the etzem.
Etzem ha'or is the reality of day.
Yeah.
If there's nothing to see in Atmos, if there's nothing to, then when the Eibishter created etzem ha'or, when he created an or, that or is revealing something. What is it?
Atmos. That's what I say. It's so Atmos.
It's like it's a complete steer. Like it's a steer from our perspective. That's complete steer.
Right.
Because there's nothing there, but yet when he creates it, he's revealing it.
Also true Atmos. In other words, the oyer makes a statement. Atmos exists. Atmos doesn't exist. That's what the oil is. And from that, I will answer everything else. All right, have a great day. Thank you. Call to.
Okay, we're gonna hit the books here.